When I was a beginner guitarist, the thing that I disliked the most was that I felt like I couldn't play the style of guitar and the types of riffs that I was into at the time because they were just too hard. I was forced to play like Blink 182, just simple shit that wasn't really consistent with what I wanted to play. So I wrote 5 riffs that are classic metalcore style riffs, but are simple enough for a beginner to play. I think that was the goal. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. I'm gonna teach you these 5 riffs. So I'll start out and I'll just play each riff, and then I'll kind of explain it measure for measure and talk about some of the ideas and the concepts and the techniques that are that I use in these riffs that are beneficial to you, and kind of how to approach them as well. All of these riffs I'm playing in drop C tuning right now. So drop C tuning, if you don't know how to play in drop C tuning, to tune to drop C tuning, just use your tuner and tune to C, G, C, F, A, and D. They're all going to be in 4/4 time signature, which is common time. That's the most common time signature. Basically means that for each measure there's going to be 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure starts over. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 beats in a measure. Most common time signature you're going to find in music, in classic metalcore, in most genres of music. So 4/4 time signature. 140 beats per minute is what I wrote them at, but you can play them at whatever tempo you want. You might want to slow it down a little bit depending on your level at this point in time. But yeah, let's get into it. First measure starts out with 2 palm muted chugs. So this is what would be considered a pedal tone style riff. Basically means that we're just anchoring palm muting, just open low notes on the low string here, so the C string, and then we're playing a melody on the 5th string. With a pedal tone riff, it doesn't have to be open chugging. It could be fretted. It doesn't have to be on only the 5th string, but that's what we're doing here. Is just open chugs, notes used in the natural minor scale, the 5/7/8 scale, and we're gonna basically use the entire natural minor scale on the 5th string for this riff. So we're gonna start out with 2 down palm muted chugs. So palm muting, just take the fatty section of your palm here, just rest it right by the bridge on the lowest string. We're not going to mute the 5th string at all, just the lowest string when we chug on that low string. So we'll start out with 2 palm muted down chugs, and then it'll go 5, 8, 1 more palm muted down chug, and then to the 7th fret. And then just a bunch of open chugs. So to finish out this first measure, it's going to be 2 palm muted down chugs, 5, 8, palm muted down chug, 7, 2 more palm muted down chugs. That's the first measure. And then we have a full measure of just palm muted down chugs. So there'll be 8 more down chugs right after that measure. Both measures put together is going to be like this. So you're going to be chugging 10 times before you start into the 3rd measure, but you're going to start with 2 more down chugs. So you're essentially going to be chugging 12 times before you hit another note. So that next measure, again, is going to start with 2 palm muted down chugs, and then same exact idea as we did here, but we're going to go 8, 12, palm muted down chug, 10. And then followed by a measure of down chugs again. So what we have so far all together is this. So the the last two measures, we're going to start on the 3rd fret of the A string with 2 down chugs right after. 1st fret of the A string, 2 down chugs, and we're going to do that 4 times. But the last time we're going to chug 3 times instead of 2 times. So the entire riff slow altogether is this. And again, we use the entire natural minor scale, the 5/7/8 scale. This is the most common scale used in metalcore songs like My Curse by Killswitch Engage, The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage, The Rose of Sharon by Killswitch Engage, Confined by As I Lay Dying, Through Struggle by As I Lay Dying, Unholy Confessions by Avenged Sevenfold, Like Light to the Flies by Trivium. All of those are in this same exact key, not in the same exact tuning, but the same key in reference to the low string being the root note, the open low string being the root note. So that also means that, because we're in a drop tuning, that means that the root note here, that's the same note on the 5th fret. So that's the scale that we used in this riff, and we used the entire scale: 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 1, and 3. So we're going to be using slides. We're going to be using pull-offs. We're going to be using notes again from the 5/7/8 natural minor scale. And then we're also going to be chugging, palm muted chugging on the low string again, so a pedal tone style riff. So we'll start out on the 7th, 8th fret. We'll slide from the 8th fret to the 7th fret with a pull off to open. And then 3 palm muted chugs. 1, 2, 3. And we'll do that 2 times. And then we're going to jump over to the 10th fret, and we'll slide from the 10th fret to the 12th fret, and then again we'll pull off to open with no chugs right after. And then we'll jump over to the 3rd fret, and we'll slide from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret with a pull off to open. We'll do that 2 times. And we'll just end with 2 pull-offs from the 3rd fret on the 5th string to open. So the entire riff slow looks like this. And for that pull-off, you could just pick one time and pull off, or you could pick each time you push down on that 3rd fret. Whichever you want to do, whichever is easiest at the moment for you. This next riff is going to be incorporating gallops, and then again we'll do some pull-offs. But we'll be playing between the 12th fret, 13th fret, and the 15th fret on the 5th string, and then we'll jump to the 4th string and we'll play from the 12th fret to the 14th fret and 15th fret. And this right here, these notes, that's an octave of the 5/7/8, which is 5/7/8 is the first 3 notes of the natural minor scale, the 5/7/8 scale. And those are the most important notes in this scale, and that's kind of what gives it that metalcore melodic sound, is that root note and then the minor third, but then also the transition between the 2nd and 3rd notes. So that's just an octave. Those are the same notes. So the 12, 13, and 15, this would be considered Phrygian mode. So the cool thing about learning the natural minor scale is that you actually learn 7 scales, which are considered modes. They're basically just the same exact 7 notes, just starting from a different note. So this would be considered Phrygian, first 3 notes of Phrygian. So we're going to be playing this riff technically in Phrygian. So we'll start out with the gallop, and a gallop is just down, up, down, palm muted, down, up, down, with a slight rest. So essentially they are 16th notes, so pretty quick notes, but there's 3 16th notes with 1 16th note rest. So it kind of sounds like a horse galloping or horse running. It's that Slayer Rain and Blood intro. So there'll be 1 gallop and then a pull off from the 12th fret, gallop, pull off from the 15th fret, gallop, pull off from the 13th fret, followed by 2 gallops. So we do that 2 times, and then we switch to the 4th string, and we're going to play 12, 15, and 14 instead of 12, 15, and 13. So this is kind of the more tricky part, because it's almost hard to aim for these notes on that 4th string in between these gallops real quickly. So this might be one that you want to slow down the tempo a little bit to get it down before you speed it up to 140. You can even increase the speed to the tempo to whatever you want. So again, same idea: gallop, 12th fret, pull off to open, gallop, 15th fret, pull off to open, gallop, 14th fret, pull off to open, and then 2 gallops right after. And we do that 2 times again. So both of those 2 times, and we always end with the double gallop. And you can use whatever fingers you want for the pull-offs. If you want to just use your first finger for now, so you're not trying to pull off with your pinky or your ring finger until you get it down, that's totally fine. Whatever you need to do to be able to play this riff. But eventually you want to be able to use all your fingers. This riff, we're going to be doing some alternate picking between the bottom 2 strings, basically back and forth from the low string to the 5th string. So we'll play 5, 7, or 5, 8, 7, 5, 8, 7, and then we'll have a rest there. So I like to add a little bit of vibrato in there, and for vibrato, it's better to use your hand to move that versus your fingers. It's more consistent. Ultimately adds a better sounding vibrato if you use your entire hand versus your fingers. So 5, 8, 7, and we're not going to palm mute any of this. It's just all going to be open. So that's the first 2 measures there, and then we're going to jump up to the 8, 12, 10, but then it's going to be slightly different than that first set of measures. The second part here is going to be, so it's going to go 8, 12, then back to 8, and we'll slide to 7, a little vibrato on 7. And then we'll go back and play the same exact section as we played originally. And then we're going to jump all the way up to the 12th fret, so this Phrygian section again. And then we'll jump to the 10th fret. So we'll play 10, 13, 12. So it'll be 12, 15, 13, and then 10, 13, 12. And basically within this riff, you're harmonizing. This is kind of the 5, 7, 8 is kind of home. And then we jump up to the 3rd, so you're harmonizing using 3rds here. And then when we jump up to the 12th fret, you're harmonizing using 5ths. This is the 5th note of the scale. We're basically playing the same thing. And then when you jump back to the 10th fret, you're harmonizing using 4ths. So you're harmonizing in thirds, and then you're harmonizing in fifths, and then you're harmonizing in fourths. And you could have two guitars playing at the same time. You can have one guitar just staying on that home bass there in the 5-7-8 area, and you can have another guitar playing any of these over top of it, and it's gonna sound good together. That's riff harmonies right there. Or you can just jump back and forth, kind of like what we're doing, and it's still fun. Again, we're using that same scale. So the open, this is basically an open power chord. We're going to be playing the 3 bottom strings open. So we'll play a quarter note, so it'll ring out a little bit longer, and then we'll play 4 8 notes, and then another quarter note, and then 4 more 8 notes. So, and that's all going to be open. We're not going to palm mute any of this. If you want, you can palm mute whatever notes you want. You could palm mute those 4 open chugs. So open without palm muting, 1 2 3 4 palm mute, no palm mute, 4 palm mute. But the way that I wrote it was just all no palm muting at all. And then we're going to go to the 8th fret and we'll play 6. And this is the 6th note of the minor scale. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So we're playing 6 downstroke strums. And then we'll slide over to the 5th fret, which is the 4th note of the minor scale, and we'll do the same thing, 6 down picked strums. All together so far what we have is and we're basically going to do that same exact thing over again, except for instead of going to the 5th fret for the last one, we're going to go from the 8th fret to the 10th fret, which is the 7th note of the minor scale, which we're going to resolve on that in the 7th fret, which is a pretty interesting way to end a riff, in my opinion. So that second section looks like this. So the entire riff slow is going to look like this. And you can go a step further and make these actual triads, actual chords. So what we could do is we could just push down on the 3rd fret of the 4th string instead of just open, and that's going to make that a minor chord. And then we could jump over to the 8th fret and play a major chord, which would work here. So basically barring the two bottom strings, basically what we're doing, except for instead of barring that 3rd, that 4th string there, we're going to have our pinky on the 12th fret, and that's going to make it a major chord. But then when we jump to the 5th fret, we're going to have to turn it into a minor chord, which just means that we're going to have to scoot our pinky back 1. So instead of 4 frets away from our bar here, it's going to be 3 frets away, so between the 5th fret and then the 8th fret. And then we do that same thing again. Major chord here off the 8th fret, and then a major chord here off of the 10th fret, so you just got to slide all of your fingers over 2 frets. And that makes it a little bit more interesting, I'd say, a little bit more melodic sounding. That's all 5 riffs. I hope these are beginner friendly as I thought they were. I wrote them to be beginner friendly, but if they aren't beginner friendly, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I'll try to make some less difficult ones for you. And if you are into classic metalcore, this is the style of guitar that you want to learn, and you're pretty ambitious, you do want to learn it, and you just want the quickest, fastest, easiest, funnest, most incredible path to metalcore mastery, That's what I offer with my program, Metalcore Riff Mastery. The link is below. I'd be happy to have you join. So check that out.